Hey, we are the Dirty Heads, and we're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
You guys might not remember, but you guys have come a long way since SoCal Rock Revolution back in 2007.
Oh my God.
Wow. I remember those days, and I remember always seeing you guys just lugging your equipment, like everything, like before, after the show. But it was like you were the one band that I would always, no matter what festival I went to, like for some reason I would see you guys, or I would see fans like with stickers or something with the Dirty Heads. What has been that evolution for the band since like 2007? Those kind of shows.
We've basically been on tour nonstop since then. We've been playing in every place we could get to, and just keep grinding. And thankfully, people keep showing up.
Right.
It's been amazing.
Now you guys had attention from a lot of big names from early on. M Shadows being one of them. As you guys got to do a collaboration in the first record with him. How were you guys able to make those kind of connections when you guys were still a fresh artist?
Well, M Shadows, and specifically, it was just a friend of ours we grew up with. He's from Huntington, we're from Huntington. We grew up together. Both of our bands, kind of were going different directions, doing our own things, but we were like, hey, for fun, let's work together, and that was awesome. But you know what? We always make a list, and we shoot for the stars, and if they say no, we keep going down. But we've been very lucky in our career that a lot of the people and artists we look up to that we've asked if they want to collab, most of them have been down, and we've been very stoked and learned a lot from all of those collaborations.
You guys have always been about the band first. Like, that's why you guys are where you're at today. Like, it's always been, no matter what it takes, you're going to do it. But then now, we're dealing with families. Jared, for example, right now is a perfect time, like, example. So, as you guys now have kids, are married, or, dealing with your family more, how are you guys still able to kind of balance, the family life and, this rigorous touring life?
Well, that's not a question for me, because I don't have.
You know what? There's ups and downs to everything, and we do the best we can. But obviously, our families have been in this with us since the beginning, and the kids have obviously never known any different. So we've gotten used to it as much as we can. Obviously, being on the road a lot of times it can be hard, but you just got to take a step back and realize that we're doing what we always dreamed we wanted to do, and what a lot of people dreamed that they wanted to do and weren't able to. So we're very lucky. Yeah, there's a bummer sometimes you miss your family, but they understand, and we get to spend a lot of time with them too. So it's not so bad.
Right now, you guys are, promoting the latest album, Swim Team, also a new single, Visions. Tell me a little bit about your production, or the creative process today. Like, how different is Dirty Heads today when they write new music or when they go into the studio?
I don't think it's really much different. I think it's still, we kind of have the same concept going into every record, where we just start writing. And we just start writing, and usually it's like one song or something will spark, like, oh, this is great. This is a great direction for the album. We'll throw a couple ideas together, we get some starts, and then we all get in the studio together, and we pick which ones are our favorite, and we finish them. And it's kind of, that's always been how we've done it from the beginning. And it's, if everyone's not stoked on it, then it's not ready, and that's just kind of how it's always been, and probably how it will always be.
What about like the collaborations, like for example, Visions with Chloe from Kitten? Do you guys have a list of what artists you would like for certain songs, or are these just natural, collaborations that happen?
A lot of times, if the song calls for a collaboration, we'll try and think who's the top of the, person that we would ever want, and hopefully they call back and say yes.
Now, today we're celebrating a special moment for you guys. You guys collaborated with Sons Brewery to create your own beer. How did this collaboration kind of start in the first place?
First of all, myself and John were a fan of their brewery. They're from Huntington Beach, and they make a great beer, and through mutual friends, met the guys who started the brewery, or who own the brewery, and we just started talking about possibly doing something together. Found out they were a fan of our band, and we're a fan of their beer, so it only made sense to just collab and make like a summertime refreshing beer.
And how did you guys come together to create this? Like, what what was the behind the scenes of creating this beer?
They brought together a few. First they emailed us a list that had like every fruit you could ever imagine that you could pair a beer with, and so from there we kind of narrowed it down to like the top 10 that we liked. And so we came in and they had it all lined up for us with different fruits lined up with the beer for us to taste. And once we got to the pineapple one, it was like, drop everything, stop. This is the one, pineapple.
I think they also knew that pineapple was the one. But they didn't tell us when we went in because they didn't want to sway us a certain direction. But we ended up on pineapple just like they did. So
we like beer. We don't really understand how difficult the process can be, especially when you're infusing outside things like fruit to the beer. We're just like, make this, it's delicious. But luckily they were able to execute like perfectly, and we're really stoked on how it came out.
Tell me about the design of the can and the red cap as well. Like what was the idea behind that?
Actually, Dave.
There we go.
Yeah, it's taking our familiar octopus logo and kind of reimagining it into a summer drink. And the red cap just kind of came at the last minute. We were just kind of doing some options and just kind of threw that on. But it could change when we do other batches. But yeah, I mean, it emulates fun summer, really cool palette of colors. So I think it came out good.
Right. Now, what's the future for this beer? Can we expect it maybe on tours? Like, are you guys planning on having it at different breweries?
Yeah, so it starts off just here tonight. We're pouring it locally and then selling 6-packs, and then there's going to be a batch that comes out that's going to be distributed through Orange County, and then the next batch is going to roll through all of Southern California. And then in the fall when we start our tour, they're going to have a massive batch, and it's going to kind of go across the country with us through Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Tennessee, and we'll probably have a bunch on our bus too, kind of throwing it out as we go along. So we're going to be spreading it as much as we can.
Speaking of this fall tour with Jukebox the Ghost, what can we expect on this tour? You guys have been on tour all your life, so how do you guys keep making it different every time?
Well, we like to try and bring different types of bands out, so the fans aren't always getting the same type of show. And we Jukebox the Ghost is a perfect example of that. People probably wouldn't think that we would play together, but I think the fans appreciate that about us. Like, it doesn't always have to be the same. Let's change it up. They're a great band. They put on a great live performance. So I think expect what you always expect from a Dirty Ed show, just a good time. Everyone's there together having a good time, and yeah, we hope to see everyone there.